Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Tuesday to you. We're taking a quick look here at BLZ, seeing what's going on. We're going to go ahead and remove our previous charts here and just note that the price did reject off pretty soundly out that resistance level as expected. So hopefully you're able to short your way down, but it does look like we're bouncing off that key volume support from before, which was actually a previous resistance level, turn support at 11.4 cents. We do have a resistance level here at about 13.8 cents, 13.9. That is based on previous week highs and previous week lows, of course, so just note that is somewhat of a resistance level. We'll draw out some new fibs and talk a little bit about what's going to happen next. And just know if you are new to the channel, I'm not a financial advisor. I do love teaching people to trade. I hope you can learn something here today. If you want to become a better trader yourself, consider jumping on over to our trading community where we have trading community signals as well as, of course, my trading platform where I teach you how to trade, specifically my trading university. But if you take a look here, we took some nice short profits there from OGN, 33% in 3 days. Of course, a short from yesterday for Bitcoin hit our first target at about 13%. Awesome stuff. Congrats again to our community members for that. Thank you so much for the wonderful feedback. Again, if you want to consider that, jump on down below. That's my Crypto Cash Premium monthly subscription. So what we're going to look at here is BLZ. It's pretty straightforward. We've broken this descending trend. Now, again, this isn't like the most amazing trend, but you can kind of see lower highs, lower lows being broken. Now, the best way to describe a trend reversal is in 3 modes, right? First of all, you break a descending trend. We've already done that. Second thing is to establish range-bound activity, which we're doing now. In other words, this most recent high hasn't been broken yet, so we could be range-bound for a little bit. And then the last step, of course, is to break above this most recent high and establish that as a new low where the price would essentially bounce. Okay. Now, again, it's not always a guarantee that that happens, but statistically, it's a higher probability. And we can see a lot of volume profile here, right there at about 13.8, 13.9. So truth is, once we break through this level here, this Fibonacci level about 0.236 at about 1360, 1370, we're going to be in good shape. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, we already broke through that. What are you talking about? No, that's not true. This daily candle still has 7 hours left in it, and this candlestick hasn't closed. Okay, so until that candlestick closes, or we get at least a little bit more confirmation above that level, it's not a good sign to take entry because we could reject off that and come right back down. Okay. So keep in mind, nice bounce off that volume profile, but we're still not out of the woods yet. We are hitting 50 on the RSI, which is a common rejection point for resistance. We do, however, have a MACD convergence here almost converged. Now keep in mind, this hasn't converged officially, and when it converges, you'll see the line come above that. Okay, now when it just kind of intersects like that, that's important, that's helpful, letting us know the shift in momentum is occurring, but it hasn't fully occurred yet. Okay, so we got these 2 tentative resistances. So the truth here is that it should be able to break through, but we'll want to confirm there's a few other factors too with the moving averages. We're holding above the 200 that was never tested down at about 8 cents. We can see here with the 20, we're above the 20-day SMA tentatively for the moment, but the 50 is hanging out there at about 14.4. So if you do take a long, you might want to consider profits just below that level, because that's going to be a common rejection zone. Okay. See here previously, the 50 rejected the price action there, and it could also do the same thing here. Okay. So the daily is on the edge of greatness, but not quite there yet. Okay. If that makes any sense. Hopefully that's clear. Taking a look at the 4-hour, let's go ahead and see what's going on here. So we can obviously see this rejection level here, consistent retesting of that range. Hasn't broken through yet. Let's take a quick peek at volume. Volume is increasing above the most recent moving average, so that's a positive sign. That could get us in the right direction there. Again, you got to keep in mind, it doesn't always work out that way because we saw high volume here with the price coming down, but we were rejecting off that trend line. So truth is, we're above 3 moving averages. We have the third moving average rather, up there at about 15 cents. So we can establish that between 14.4 and 15 cents is somewhat of a resistance zone based on moving averages. Between now and then, there is a decent amount of room, so there's about 5% of growth. So you could hypothetically get a 5% return between here and that next resistance. Okay. So I'm not saying to necessarily just go hard and go long, but there's potential that we are seeing that nice shift in momentum that could occur. We are topping out at 70 on the RSI, so just note, last time we hit 70 on the RSI, the price action was right here. Okay. Not saying it's going to do that again, but again, overextended is what we're looking at here. Okay. So just keep in mind, when the price goes over 70 on the RSI, you can get some pullback that occurs shortly after. Not saying that's going to happen, but that could confirm the price action pulling back to this lower level here. So just keep in mind, just so you wait for the next dip. Perhaps it's like the start of a double bottom. then you could be much more successful getting in there closer to about 11 than you are at about 13.7. Okay, not saying that's going to happen, but that is once again a potential reality. So with us being overextended here on the 4-hour, what else can we look at? Well, we want to also take a peek at TD sequential. Hitting a 9 TD sequential tells us that there's potential also for a pullback. So to me, what I'm going to probably be looking for is I'm just going to set an alert kind of the halfway point here between the top and bottom. So if the price does remain range bound, I can pay attention, see if it's worth taking an entry here, or a long position to the upside, or possibly even a short if Bitcoin decides it wants to lose that support level at 28,000, right? So truth is we're overextended on the 4-hour. We have broken the descending trend. We're above moving averages. So a lot of this is kind of a wash, if you will. It's kind of somewhat of a, because again, we got that shift in momentum on the daily, right? We got almost conversion of the MACD. So we take that in combination with the 4-hour being overextended. A pullback would make a lot more sense initially before we see the next leg up. There is nothing here really kind of supporting the fact that it's going to pull back, but overextension can oftentimes lead to that. Take a look here at the hourly, though. We can kind of see as well. Price action is hit a 9 here recently. Again, rejected. Keeps retesting that level. So with it retesting this level multiple times, that's telling us that it wants to break through that resistance. Okay, so 13.8 is a resistance for the moment. As we can see here with the volume, we have a nice little support shelf there of volume, but also mostly here at about 12 cents even, or 12.2. Take a look at volume as well here. We can see there's been a couple of attempts to break through that level with price pulling back. The reason why I like this, though, is there's a lot more volume in this most recent time frame than overall time frame previously. That leads me to believe that the price action should break through this level here. So I'm honestly leaning a little bit more towards a long position being more viable at this point than a short. If you were to consider a short position, I would have some tighter targets. Keep in mind most recent highs are going to be the new low effectively. So if the price does pull back, a lot of times it'll bounce off of those levels. Okay. So if you do short, I would consider tight targets. Same thing with the long as well. I mean, make sure you take profit before that 14.4 cent mark, because that is somewhat of a resistance level based on previous moving averages on larger time frames. So at this point here, the larger and the smaller time frame look pretty decent. We're overextended on the midterm, and you put all together, it's slightly more statistical probability of the price going up than down. Just keep in mind, if you do end up taking a long right now, it may be advantageous to consider some averaging your price down, right? If the price does pull back, one of those considerations where could very well pull back quite significantly. If you look at the difference between here and just say 11 cents, that's about 17%. Not a lot of leverage can handle that without getting liquidated. Okay, so be careful with how you trade this coin is my recommendation, and consider being patient or waiting, but it does look like it wants to break out. I'm not much of a breakout trader myself, so I'm probably going to hesitate on taking a trade right now. But if it does come up, just say it breaks up here and comes back down, I would look for an entry here at the consolidation of about 13.6, 13.8. So basically, I would just wait for the price to break through its most recent resistance, establish that as a new low, and then take a trade there. I'd feel much more safer taking that trade than being overextended leading into a resistance. Okay, different strokes for different folks. Hopefully that made sense and I clarified that correctly. Thanks again so much for watching, and just a quick heads up too. I am partnering with a new exchange here in the next couple of weeks, and we're going to be having a new awesome benefit reward, if you will, for new registrations. So just be on the lookout for that. I'll be posting that here soon. It's basically no leverage, they are leverage, no VPN or KYC requirement in the US or Canada, other countries as well, but it's going to be a good little benefit for our community. So that's the main reason why we're providing that. All right, thanks again so much for joining me here. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Again, you want to become a better trader, cryptocash.tech is a site. Link down below. Trading Academy, community, and signals group. Some stuff. Look forward to working with you. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you soon.